What is going on, people, and welcome back to the channel. A second day on the Aston Martin Vantage in the workshop, and I still got super excited as soon as I saw it again, even though it was under plastic covering because the guys have been working on other vehicles in my absence. I got really excited as soon as I saw it, and while I were home over the weekend, I've just been researching how to take different things apart, different sort of mods for it, all that sort of stuff. I'm so excited about this vehicle. So let's crack on, let's get this bonnet and get these wings off, and let's see what sort of damage is hiding underneath. Now, one thing I did find in my research is I did find an Aston Martin workshop manual, and that seems to tell me everything but how to remove the wings. For some reason, it's just missing that section. So they have been baffling me because one of them is completely knackered and it looks like it should fall off, but there's something still holding it on. Now I'm going to roll the vehicle off the ramp to start with and just check in the doors, in the slits in the doors, and make sure there's no bolts in there. If there is bolts in there, I'm going to undo them. And I think next protocol is to remove the wheel arch liner. But on the first things, it appears that there shouldn't be anything in the wheel arch liner because it doesn't say anything like that in the manual. But we'll see how far we get. I'm going to start on the broken one first, so that way if I do damage anything, it's not that big of a deal because that's on the broken one. And then once I've got the broken one off, I should be able to examine it properly and get the fully working one off without an issue. Cancel everything what I've just said. This bonnet needs to come off because it's pushed over, it's damaging my good wing. So I need to get that off as a matter of urgency, so I don't need to buy any more parts. So then let me bring you along to see the damage what I have now caused. So this swing was the good wing, and as you can see just here, it's been digging in quite a lot. And I'm going to buy a full new front end for it, but I just need to weigh up and evaluate whether it's going to be worth repairing that or respraying a full new wing. I think probably going to opt to keep this. I'll have a word with Richard, see what he thinks, but it's not too bad, it's nothing structural. But now, onto the wings. These things have been frustrating me, so let's get them off. Let's see how easy they come off or how hard they want to make this. come with me. So here's the point where we're at. Ooh, that's a nice scratch on that caliper. Sorry, I'm pretty bad at this vlogging business. Just noticed a scratch on the caliper, but they look nice, don't they? Right, so I'm going to remove this wheel arch and hopefully we're going to find some mountings just behind here holding the arch or holding the wing in place, because I can't see anything else on this side as to why this wing has not just fallen off yet, especially considering how damaged it is. It's very wobbly, so I feel like if there is any, there's only going to be a couple of mountings, but let's get straight to it. I'll set up the tripod in a bit of a better location so you can watch it happen. We have found the culprit. I don't need to take this wheel arch liner off, but the wheel coming off definitely made me see. So just in there, I'll show you. Just inside there you can see one bolt at the top, one bolt hidden underneath. Just dragged my microphone over everything then, so apologies for your ears. Good news. All these have got spacers on the back, so if you are doing this yourself, try and catch them before the side skirt does. So it looks like it may have had a repair in the past. There's one last screw holding this on, I believe, and that is a self-tapper that is attaching the wing to the side skirt. Let's get it off. That is in the most awkward place ever. I think I might even have to remove the door to get this one screw off. It's quite frustrating. It definitely doesn't look factory. Then again, they are all hand-built, so who's to say? It's weird that they use a variant of like Torx and crossheads for like the same sort of fixing. It's like you'll see a Torx on one side and a crosshead on the other. So now that screw's out, I've just realised it's been pop riveted as well. I'm not having much luck with it. Pop riveting, it might be an issue getting in there because they've been pop riveted from the underside. So I'm going to try and just squeeze the back of the pop rivet if I can get some pliers onto it, and just try and squeeze that free. Other than that, another option is to heat it up and just try and melt them out, but that's not going to leave much room to pop rivet in the future. I think it's just too tight to get any form of Dremel in there. I'm not sure how long I've just not been recording for. So to recap, got this wheel off, I'm accessing it through here. I'm just trying to get this arch off, and it seems to be held in by various different methods. So far I've come across some Torx screws, there's some bolts inside that I've removed. Then I came across a self-tapper that seemed to be added afterwards. That badger. Then I came across some rivets, which I proceeded to take 2 of them out, but then it turns out that there's some sort of like sliding pop mechanism that the rivets use, but I just can't get it to pop out further down here. So the rivets don't need to come out by the looks of it, but I am still struggling as to getting this wing off. This is quite a difficult task. Right, that makes perfect sense. So one of these ones that I took the rivets out, you can now see how this clip works, and it's just a little push down popper at the back. So hopefully I'll Get my chubby hands in here. Easy once you know. Now finally I'm just going to remove this hydraulic ram that makes the doors open. So then this is one of the few parts that I took a bit of a risk on, and in terms of I weren't sure how much damage this top strut had taken, and that's one of the things that you're just not going to be able to see until that wing was removed. But as you can see here, that bar was what I was hoping wasn't bent, more specifically this corner here, and as you can see it is straight as an arrow, which is very good news for me, because although this would have been replaceable, I kind of didn't want to. It's all riveted in and it would have been a bigger job than I quite would have liked, but that's good news. So the next port of call is I'm going to take some of the parts that I've now removed, and I'm going to remove grills and inserts and stuff that's probably going to cost me a lot of money to replace. I'm going to try and package them nicely so I don't damage them. More specifically on the wings, there's some carbon fibre inserts on this particular model. I believe it's had a carbon pack, and my new wings, when I do get, will definitely not have that in them. So I'd quite like to use the carbon fibre ones what I've got, which are in perfectly good condition. So I'm going to take them off, package them up all nicely, so I can put them back onto my new wings when they come on Thursday, which if you're watching this is 3 days from now. So I'm also going to have a bit of a tidy up, so I've got more space to work, and I'm not leaving this workshop in a bit of an issue, because this is obviously a workshop that earns money. So the space I take up is costing Richard money, and as he was so kind to lend me the workshop in the first place, I don't want to make any more hassle than I need to. I'm going to get this wheel back on because that's taking up some space. I'm going to start gathering up some parts when I've taken off, and anything that is totally useless is going to go in the bin. Anything that I could possibly use in terms of, you know, sizing stuff up or maybe even resell, I'm going to keep and set to one side. Right then people, so that is the strip down of the Aston Martin complete, and to be fair, it was relatively painless. I quite enjoyed doing it. It all came apart very easily, probably aided by the fact that this one's only got 10,000 miles on the clock. Usually when I work on stuff, it's snap bolt city for me, and I spend the majority of my time removing studs and heads from stuff that I've snapped, but everything came out really, really easily. The damage, as I've already explained, is nowhere near what I thought and what I was prepared to change. That being said, I am getting the full front end, so if we do suspect anything else is bent, then we can just change it out. So that's what we're looking like at the moment, and hopefully next time you see this, I'll be rebuilding it back up. So I'm going to get the parts tomorrow, hopefully. If you haven't already, please do like, share, comment and subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next video.